Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here, and today we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 because Nintendo, randomly at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night here in Texas time, they just announced that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible. But I want to talk about this because, in my opinion, this is the most important feature that they could have confirmed. Because as a person with a big Nintendo Switch collection, as a person that knows people with massive hundreds and hundreds of games on their Nintendo Switch, I feel like this could have been a very big deal breaker. But let's take a look at what their statement is and what people's reactions are. And I want to explain my hesitance. But let me break that down. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So this is a tweet that just came out about 30 minutes ago from Furukawa, the president of Nintendo, and he says, at today's corporate management policy briefing, we announced that Nintendo Switch games will be playable on the Nintendo Switch 2. Heck yes. Man, is this incredibly good. But he actually goes on to say, Nintendo Switch Online will also be available for the Nintendo Switch successor. Now, this could mean a couple different things, but to my mind, I think he's basically confirming what a lot of us kind of assumed, which is that your entire catalog of stuff, both physical and digital, hopefully is going to carry over, but especially digital. So since they're saying Nintendo Switch Online will be available, I think that means our current cloud saves, of course, are going to carry over, but also it does kind of signal to me that the retro games are coming over as well, which to me is something I enjoy a lot. I play my Nintendo Switch pretty much every single day on the treadmill. I love doing that just to burn some extra calories. And I spend a lot of time playing Nintendo 64 games and Game Boy games and stuff on here. So it does sound like day one with the Nintendo Switch 2 will instantly have this available. But as good as that is, let's talk about the big question that seems to be a bit hanging in everybody's minds, which is the question of physical, digital, or both. Now, I even decided to actually go over to the Nintendo Switch Reddit. This just got posted because obviously the news just dropped, and a lot of people are saying, okay, I want confirmation of physical Nintendo Switch games because they do not specify. Now, when it comes to Nintendo, I do my best not to assume anything because, in my opinion, Nintendo is the most weird with their implementations. Like, people don't remember this now or don't talk about this now, but remember when this is what you had to do to actually talk to people on Nintendo Switch? You had to have the Nintendo Switch app, the Nintendo Switch branded headphones, a special little squid adapter that connected into your system. This is the kind of stuff that Nintendo does that always, in my opinion, is one of their biggest drawbacks, is Nintendo gets this weird idea and they try and implement it in a way that isn't really conducive. But it also comes down to the fact that when it comes to physical games for the Nintendo Switch, the reason I feel like this is so incredibly crucial, but also brings up extra questions, is how is it going to work? Are we going to have two separate slots? Like, Nintendo Switch cartridges are incredibly tiny, right? I mean, if you actually look at them, they're super itty bitty bitty. So my thought is, there's no way that the cartridge slot can be this same size, right? So are we going to have two separate cartridge slots? Is there going to be like an OG Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch 2 slot? Or is it going to be something like where they do manage to make it like the 3DS? So if you didn't know, if you've never had a DS, when you ever get a 3DS, there is a singular slot on the back, but you can plug in 3DS and DS games, both, which are very separate systems that have very different graphical capabilities and stuff, but this single port recognizes what you're putting in and instantly works with it. I'm hoping it is that. To me, my biggest fear is that I'm glad they confirmed this, because if they hadn't, I think they would have been met with a lot of tampered hype. Because honestly, Nintendo Switch owners just own so many games, right? Everybody has such a huge collection. It's difficult to really overstate the amount of hype, but especially how much physical collectors love the Nintendo Switch. If they had not confirmed this, if they'd kind of just been vague, if they'd been kind of, a bit mixed on whether it would or wouldn't, I think it would have been a much stranger announcement when they finally revealed it. Now, the big part that's now sticking in my brain, now that we know Nintendo Switch games are going to work on the Nintendo Switch 2, does that mean we're going to get the PlayStation 5 thing, where certain games that ran on PS4 run better on PS5. Horizon is a rock solid 60 FPS. I think Days Gone got boosted up to like 100 FPS. There's a bunch of games that got a free patch that makes them 4K and 60 FPS when they run on a PlayStation 5. Just straight up out of the box. It's not DLC. It's not a remaster. Straight up, there are a bunch of games that just run better because of the extra power of the PS5. Is Nintendo going to do that? Now, I don't think it's going to run at 4K, but even stuff like recently, I've fallen back into the trap. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon. You can see Pokemon Scarlet right here. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon. And, it still runs bad. They've done a couple patches to try and reduce the amount of pop-in to try and fix it somewhat. But Pokemon Scarlet and Violet still runs so shockingly bad. And it is because this is just such a tiny system, right? I don't have assumptions this thing's going to instantly be able to do the craziest next-gen graphics. This thing isn't going to be an Xbox in my hand, but I do kind of hope that the Nintendo Switch 2 is able to boost the power. The frame rate specifically, the amount of incredibly good games like even Zelda, the recent one. Oh God, I love Tears of the Kingdom, but it being hard locked at 30 FPS and still having some frame drops. If you were even saying, hey, we're doing this, we're going to boost that quality, we're going to boost that frame rate, that to me is a giant W. And if anything, yesterday Nintendo announced that the sales of the Nintendo Switch are kind of falling off a cliff. Now, this isn't a giant surprise. The system's been out for almost 8 years. So yeah, you're going to hit market saturation, especially a system as popular as that. I think they said like 135 million Nintendo Switches have been sold. So my train of thought is, okay, how can we keep that hype going? Maybe if they confirm the games you're still buying, the games you're buying in 2024, the early 2025 games, those games are going to get boosted. You just buy it. When you pop it into a Nintendo Switch 2, it'll auto-update. It'll put in a patch that makes it run into the improved version of it. That, to me, would be epic. But I guess we're going to find out, hopefully, next year. There is some talks that we're not going to get the Nintendo Switch 2 till April or May, but I'm definitely incredibly excited for it. I feel like I've been really sucked back into handheld gaming because of stuff like the Steam Deck, the PlayStation Portal. So if the Nintendo Switch 2 is just a better Nintendo Switch, a straight upgrade of performance and graphics, yeah, that's all I need. But what do you guys think? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. If I sound a bit strange, it's because I just ate a large, thin crust, spinach and mushroom and chicken pizza. And it was so good. So now I'm all full of dairy. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.